Here is a tutorial on how to complete assignment number 5, scenarios 2 as well as 3. So we're going to go ahead and continue to work in assignment number 5, spreadsheet scenarios, and we're just going to be working on a different sheet. So for scenario 1, which was North Shore Travel, we worked in sheet 1 and we went ahead and we right-clicked and we renamed it. For this next assignment for scenario 2, we're going to be working in sheet 2. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to rename this once we pull up our assignment to make sure we name it correctly. And we'll do the same thing for sheet 3, which I've already gone ahead and renamed trade show expenses. The formulas in scenario 2 and 3 are the exact same. So what you learn in 2, you're just going to apply to scenario 3. So next, in order to input all the data that we get for scenario 2, we're going to want to go to Google Classroom. And I'm just going to scroll down to spreadsheet scenarios 5. I'm going to click on that assignment right here. Once it's pulled up, we're going to go over to the top right and go to more actions. So there's 3 dots. Click on it and you're going to select open in a new window. Once it's opened in a new window, we are then going to click download. So we want to download this document so we can get it in a Word format, so we can copy and paste it into Excel using a special function. So it's going to pop up on the right-hand side. I'm just going to go ahead and select that. And I'll open this up. First thing you want to do is make sure you select Enable Editing. This is what's going to allow you to copy and paste. And we are working on scenario 2. So when you see for scenario 2, the chart looks like this, rather than in scenario 1, it was a screenshot. So it's an image that's been inserted that we can't copy and paste and put into Excel. But anything that is written directly in Word, for instance, you can see I can type and change it, we can copy and paste. So you can do this for scenario 2, as well as you're going to want to do the same thing for scenario 4. As you can see, scenario 4 has a lot more data you need to input. And in order to avoid making any errors, you do want to copy and paste it. So I'm going to go ahead, left click and drag over top of the data I want, and then right click and go copy. I'm going to go back to my Excel sheet. And just so I can see both screens, I'm going to go restore down, left click and drag to the far side of my screen, and then I can also select my assignment so I know what it is I'm doing. I'm just going to go ahead and left click on the top cell, and once I'm in the top cell, I'm then going to right click. I'm going to go down to Format Cells. Sorry, I lied. You're going to go to Paste Special. Once you're in Paste Special, make sure you select Text, and you're going to go ahead and press OK. So this will allow you right away to input all of the data correctly and efficiently. Let's say your cells weren't this size, you had them a lot smaller, and maybe you might get something that looks like this. If you get a whole bunch of number signs appearing, it's just because your width of your columns isn't big enough to read the whole number, so just go ahead and resize that. So this assignment is asking us to include all the following data and give a final total for expenses in Canadian dollar. So in this chart, we have the date, the country, the currency, amount, the exchange rate. It's already converted for us Canadian dollars, so these values should be correct. We don't have to convert anything. And the type of expense. So it's just asking us for a total in Canadian dollar. So we want to make sure that we make it easy for whoever is reading our budget for them to find the total. So I'm going to go ahead and I write in the word total. I'm going to bold it so it draws your attention, and I might as well just align it over to the right because this is where my total is going to be. The total, every formula has to start with an equal sign, so we're going to go equal, and when you're totaling things up, we call that the sum. So I've clicked on the sum formula twice, double click left, and then I'm just going to left click and drag over the values I want. Make sure you're only doing the values you want and you aren't doing other cells. For instance, if you were to go into the Canadian dollar amount, those are letters and it's not going to input correctly for you. So I have those selected. All I have to do next is go enter. Next, make sure that you take the time to rename your sheets properly. So we're going to go right click, we're going to go rename, and we're going to go Europe expenses. Once you have that done, then you're going to open up a new sheet for scenario 3 and just scroll on down so that you will have to, for scenario 3, input all your data. So make sure that you're taking the time to put it in the proper cell. This function up here where the cells are merged, we learned that in our first couple assignments we did where we could create different titles for our maze and our crossword. So we should already know how to merge cells. If not, refer back to those previous videos. And once again, the formula it's asking for is it's asking for a total of the amount of money spent in Chicago, but it's also asking for a total with every different type of expense. So a booth total, brochures, miscellaneous, etc. So make sure that you are putting in the proper formula that we used for scenario 2.